This webinar is designed for returning officers and is a step-by-step guide on how to enter your candidate information onto the elections database. Prior to starting this webinar, you should already have access to MA Connect and the elections database. If you do not have access, please review the Learning Module, Elections Database, and MA Connect Getting Started. You should have already logged on and completed both your election details and your electoral system screens. If you have not completed these screens, please review the Learning Module, Entering Election Details. Please note you will not be able to enter your municipal candidates until these screens have been completed. Before you begin inputting your candidate information onto the elections database, you would need the two completed forms for each candidate, the Notice of Intent, as well as the nomination and candidate acceptance forms. These forms can be found on the Municipal Affairs Elections Forms website. The first form is a Notice of Intent form. All candidates must submit their Notice of Intent anytime during the campaign period. Candidates who plan to run in a municipal election can only accept campaign contributions and incur campaign expenses once their Notice of Intent is completed. To simplify the process for municipalities, Municipal Affairs has created the form Notice of Intent. In this form, candidates indicate their title and gender. If the candidate did not complete the Notice of Intent form, the returning officer can complete this information based on their knowledge of the candidates. The second form that is required to input candidate information on the elections database is a nomination paper and candidate acceptance form. All candidates are required to have their nomination papers filed by 12 p.m. on nomination day, which is 4 weeks prior to the election. This form is critical as candidates indicate how their names should appear on the ballot. You will be required to enter the candidate name on the elections database exactly as it is entered on this form. Please note that your final list of candidates must be entered on the EDB and finalized 24 hours after the close of nominations. Municipal Affairs will contact you if the list is not finalized within 24 hours after the close of nominations. You will not be required to submit a signed copy of your candidate nomination list to Municipal Affairs, as you have electronically submitted your results to the Ministry through the EDB. So let's get started. Go to the MA Connect website. To ensure you always have easy access to this site, we suggest you save this site under your favorites. Log in with your username and password, then push the blue login button. You are now on the MA Connect dashboard. Click on the Elections Database icon. Once you access the Elections Database, you will see the following dashboard for your municipality. Click the Edit or Pencil button next to Upcoming General or Summer Village Election to begin entering data. You will be redirected to your Elections Details screen. To start entering candidates, hit the Municipal Candidates tab. On this screen, you'll be able to enter new candidates. The exclamation mark within the triangle indicates all mandatory fields. The only non-mandatory field is a ward or division, as not all municipalities have wards. The second part of the screen contains your current council and their current positions. So let's begin by entering your new candidates. Make sure you have with you the Notice of Intent and nomination paper and candidate acceptance forms for each candidate. The first municipality I have chosen for this learning session is the Summer Village of Birch Cliff. This municipality has no wards. Now we are required to enter the gender and title. You can input this information from the completed Notice of Intent document, or if you have prior knowledge of the candidate's gender or title, you can enter it here. The choices for gender are based on the categories in Alberta driver's licenses. The ND means that the gender cannot be determined. So based on the Notice of Intent form, I will select female. Now let's enter title. Again, you can find this information on the Notice of Intent document. In this example, I will enter Ms. Now we can enter the name of the candidate exactly as it appears on the ballot. As stated earlier, you will find this information from page 2 of the nomination paper and candidate's acceptance form. All new candidates are not incumbents. An incumbent is someone who currently is seeking re-election in the exact position he or she currently holds. Your incumbents are your current council. If a councillor runs for mayor, he is not an incumbent. Now indicate the nominated position. All summer villages have elections for councillors only, so in this case, select councillor. Recheck your data entry and make any corrections as required. If you're satisfied the information is correct, click the Add button. A pop-up box will appear asking you to confirm that the candidate information is correct. Click Proceed if correct and Cancel Incorrect to modify the data. You'll receive a green pop-up indicating that the candidate information has been saved successfully. You will also see that the counselor has been added to your list of candidates. There is error checking built on the screen. All mandatory fields must be completed. So in this example, I entered another candidate for the election. However, I did not include gender, which is a mandatory field. If I try to add the candidate, I get an error message in red indicating that gender is a mandatory field and cannot be blank. So in this case, I will select female. I will then add the candidate to the list. A pop-up box will appear asking you to confirm your data entry. Recheck your data entry. If it is correct, then click Proceed or Cancel to make corrections. You will get the green pop-up indicating that the candidate has been successfully added. This candidate will now be added to your candidate list. The candidate list now contains your current council and all your new candidates. If a council member is not running, you can remove the member by pressing the red X button at the end of his name. So let's assume Jonathan Paulgard chooses no longer to run. So press the red X at the end of his name. A pop-up will appear asking you to confirm whether you want to proceed with the deletion. Press Confirm to delete the council member from the list. You'll receive confirmation on top of the screen indicating that the deletion was successful. In some municipalities, such as summer villages, the mayor or reposition is not up for election as this position is chosen by your current council. This needs to be corrected on your candidate list for the mayor position. Also, you must add the gender and title for the current council. To make these changes, you would click the button Edit Candidates. The candidate list table has changed to include pull-down menus. Changes the mayor position to councillor. Add gender and title. You can use a Notice of Intent form or complete this information based on your knowledge of the council member. Now check the names of your current council from page 2 of the nomination paper and candidate acceptance forms. The names should be exactly as a name shown on the ballot. If you are satisfied the information is correct, then push the Save button. You will get a green pop-up message that the data has saved correctly. Now let's review data entry with a municipality that has wards. For this example, I chose Red Deer County. This municipality has 6 wards. The mayor is elected at large. To add your list of candidates, you would push the edit or pencil icon. You are again redirected to your elections details screen. Click the Municipal Candidates tab. To add a new candidate, You would use the pull-down menu, which lists the wards by name. Select the appropriate ward. If there's no wards, such as for the mayor position, you would select the dash. You would follow the same steps I demonstrated earlier on how to enter new candidates. In 2025, political parties will be introduced for Edmonton and Calgary only. For this example, I picked the City of Edmonton. So here is the data entry screen for Edmonton. The pull-down menu for wards is sorted alphabetically. Edmonton and Calgary are the only two municipalities that will display political party for each candidate. Political party for these two municipalities is a mandatory field and cannot be blank. If there is no political party for the candidate, enter independent and then click the Add button. Now we have completed the section on how to add candidates to your candidate nomination list. Now let's go over the three possible outcomes that can occur on candidate nomination day. This will determine how you will complete your candidate submission to Municipal Affairs. These outcomes are: first, the number of candidates exceeds the number of positions up for election. You could also end up with an uncontested election where the number of candidates equal the number of vacant positions, or you can end up with fewer candidates than the number of council positions up for election. Bill 50 introduces some new changes to the candidate nomination process. Under Section 32 of the Local Authorities Election Act, candidates have 24 hours from the close of nominations to withdraw. After this 24-hour period, you can submit your results to Municipal Affairs. Let's assume one candidate withdrew after the 24-hour period. Go to your municipal candidate screen. Go to the candidate you want to remove and hit the red X button after the name. You will see a pop-up asking if you want to proceed with the deletion. Click Confirm to delete or cancel if the deletion was done in error. In this case, I will confirm the deletion. If there are more candidates than available council positions, an election is called. Instead of sending the deputy minister a signed statement with the names of all the nominated candidates, returning officers must submit their candidate nomination information on the EDB within 24 hours after the close of the nomination. So how would you do this on the elections database? After 24 hours from the close of nominations, go to your municipal candidate screen. Then click the Finalize Candidates. A pop-up window will appear. You'll be asked to confirm that these results are final. You will no longer be able to make any changes to your candidate list. Once you press Confirm, the buttons for Edit Candidates and Finalize Candidates will disappear. You will see a pop-up screen indicating that your candidates have been successfully finalized. Now you're ready to enter your election results. You do this by clicking on the municipal results on election day. When the number of candidates is equal to the number of positions up for election, the candidate is declared elected by acclamation. The returning officer can only declare a council acclaimed after the 24-hour withdrawal period. The submission to Municipal Affairs is completed under the elections database. Acclamations can occur where all candidates in a municipality may be acclaimed, or it may occur when a candidate is acclaimed in a ward. Now let's go through the steps if all candidates in a municipality is acclaimed. First, go to the Municipal Candidates tab. Then click the Finalize Candidates button. If the data has saved successfully, then go to your municipal results screen. The municipal results screen contains the list of all candidates you've entered on your Municipal Candidates tab. In this screen, You can declare all your candidates as acclaimed. Click on the box after the name of all candidates and declare them as acclaimed. Then enter your organizational meeting date. You may need to enter the number of special ballots mailed and received. You only have to do this if you mark yes on the elections details page that your municipality is providing voting by special ballot. Now click the Finalize Official Results. You will now be required to update the number of eligible voters in your municipality, make the required corrections, and push Save. You will be asked to confirm that these are your official results. Now click Confirm. You will get a pop-up window displaying a reminder that you must inform Information Services by email who your mayor or reeve is if the CEO position was not up for election. Push the Close button. You have now submitted your results to Municipal Affairs. In some municipalities, our mayor or reeve may be acclaimed if this individual is the only person running for this council position. Also, councillors may be acclaimed in wards. For this example, only one councillor ran for one council position in a ward. You would declare this candidate as acclaimed on your municipal results screen. Take off the acclaim box next to the candidate name. As an election is still required to fill the remaining council positions, you would save these results under Save Unofficial as a partial save. A pop-up window would appear requesting that you update your eligible voters from your permanent electors register. As these results are not official, just press the Save button. Another pop-up window will appear. You're not submitting your unofficial results to Municipal Affairs, as this is done on election day. Click No to just save the data. A pop-up will appear indicating that your election results are saved successfully. For insufficient nominations, the returning officer is required to open and accept nominations the next day between 10 a.m. and 12 noon for 6 days, including nomination day, but excluding Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. For summer villages, the returning officer can announce a time and place to accept nominations. The 6 days in this case include Saturday and Sunday. For insufficient nominations, you would go to the elections details page. Then update the nomination extension date to September 29, 2025 for the general election only. You will be required to calculate the additional days if you are the returning officer for a summer village. Add a note indicating there were insufficient nominations. Now save the data. So now the additional days have passed. What are the possible outcomes? One possible outcome is that you now have more candidates than vacant council positions. If this occurs, an election is called. You would go to the municipal candidate screen, add your new candidates, and submit the candidate list to Municipal Affairs by clicking the Finalize Candidates button. If your number of candidates is equal to the number of council positions, you would follow the procedure for acclaimed candidates. And finally, if the number of candidates is less than your council positions, go to your elections details screen and add notes. So here is a demonstration of the steps required if the number of candidates is less than the number of council positions after the additional 5 days has passed. Go to the election details page and then add a note indicating that insufficient nominations were received and that Municipal Affairs will be notified. Press the Save button. Information Services now has an accurate record of what happened to this election. Within 48 hours after the close of nomination date, returning officers must post the names of candidates and their nominated positions. Returning officers can opt to post the list generated by the elections database. To do this, go to your municipal candidate screen, then click Print Candidate List. Now click the text Download Report. Click the downloaded file. A copy of the candidate list is ready for posting in PDF format. For this example, no candidates were claimed. In another sample report, all candidates are acclaimed. Also, the name of the RO is displayed in the report exactly as it was inputted in the elections details screen. Now you should be able to enter and submit your municipal results on the elections database. Prior to Election Day, please take a few minutes to review our instructional video on how to submit your election results through the elections database. If you require further assistance on the elections database, please feel free to contact us. If you make an error on your candidate list after finalizing your results, please contact us by email or by telephone. You can also view additional information on municipal elections by visiting our website. This concludes the webinar on submitting candidate information on the elections database.